All right, it's a new era here on the 24th floor. Last week we said goodbye to the great Avery Braxton, but you know what they say, the show has to go on. And for now, I guess that makes me the captain. We'll go with that, right? I'm Ruben Diaz here steering the ship for now with a little backup to help keep things running. We'll introduce our newest addition to the show a little bit later in the show, and it's not just anybody, you'll remember the name. All right, let's get you caught up. It's not just week one, it's week one of high school football here. Friday Night Lights will be here before you know it, just a few days. So we've lined up some big guests today to set the tone. It's Monday, August 18th, and the 24th floor starts right now.
Enough about them. So proud of them. Didn't come out the way we wanted to tonight, but they held their heads high.
All right, that was Houston head coach James Thomas talking about last season, but now it's time to talk about this season because it means the start of football week. We're getting ready for some high school football and picking up where we left off with a team that's been the cream of the crop in the Mid-South the past couple of seasons. We're talking about the Houston Mustangs, led by head coach James Thomas. The Houston Mustangs of Class 6A put together a 12-3 record last season, going 6-1 in region play on their way to a region championship. This team knows how to score, average about 31 points a game. Those are Madden numbers. On defense, they only give up about half of that. We're talking about 15. It's almost like they're playing me. At Landers Field, they've been a true home field advantage type team. Their average margin of victory, nearly 24 points. That's, of course, about 3 touchdowns and then some. For the past couple of years, Houston has made Chattanooga a December tradition. That's the site of the state championship game. In 2023, they won it all. Last season, they came up just a little bit short. That senior class, though, that graduated in May, leaves behind 25 wins over the past 2 seasons. That's a lot of wins. And now we have the man himself joining us here on 24th floor. We're talking, of course, about Coach James Thomas. He brought along one of his guys, former linebacker from middle school, young kids turned running back, senior Sally Davis. Thank you so much, both of you, for joining us here on 24th floor.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
All right, let's get right into what we all want to talk about. Week one of high school football. Coach, let's start with you. How excited are you to finally really get going?
It's obviously very exciting. You know, everybody's 0-0 right now. Everybody's got a shot to do anything they want to do, right? So, but we're excited about the start of the season. Obviously, opening up with a crosstown rival in Germantown makes it really special. It's going to be on a Saturday, so it's going to be like one of the only games in town. Yeah. So, everybody get your warm-up ready on Friday night, and then come see the main event on Saturday night.
Yeah, that game is huge, so we're going to circle back to that here in just a minute. But can you first tell us a little bit about this young man that you brought with you?
Sally's he's a great leader. He's one of our captains. He's just been an on and off the field type of guy that you want for a Houston Mustang. If you could say, this is what we want to be a Houston Mustang, Sally Davis encompasses all of that.
Yeah. Sally, how do you feel about this season? You're a senior. You've been doing your thing now, but now it's all on your class, right? You're seniors. You got to lead the way.
I'm excited. Definitely ready to play this Saturday. A little anxious to play, but that just comes with it. Yeah. I'm really excited to play. I think that we should be pretty good again this season. Adversity is going to come, but I know that we can.
You can handle it?
Yes, sir.
Let's talk a little bit about the first game. Because last year I was doing some stuff, and I went to I kind of did the preseason of that game, and it was a pretty heated rivalry. I would say it's a little bit on the heated side. Right. How important does that make this first game? Not just first game of the season. We're talking big time rivalry game.
Oh, no doubt. And Germantown, Houston. You think about those two teams. You think about athletes all over the field, well-coached teams, big fan bases. I mean, it's going to be a huge crowd, so it's going to be, who can weather the storm early, settle down, and play their game. And it's hard to do in a game like that.
You've played in those games before, so what's that like for you as a player? You got to drown out all the stuff, because I'm sure you got to ignore the signs.
It's definitely a lot. It's definitely a lot of distractions that come with that game. Big crowd. Sometimes you've never seen crowds like we see on Friday nights, Saturday nights, but sometimes you just got to find a way to drown that out, stay locked in. But our coaches help us come with that, like during practice, making us stay locked in, stay on task. I feel like we should be fine. Yes, sir.
So, as the season progresses, Coach, the schedule doesn't get easy. I mean, you don't look at your schedule and say, oh, that's an easy one right there. But it is a little different maybe than years past, right?
Right. No. Well, we've always prided ourselves on building a competitive schedule, and when you have a 2-year run like we've had, playing 30 games in 2 years, that's 3 seasons for. People aren't just lining up at your door to play you, and that's what it is. What it is. That's why we're traveling to Mississippi twice, and we've got 3 home games this year, but it'll flip in the next year, and we'll play 6 and 3 the next year. So if we do what we need to do, we'll be playing at the home of the playoffs too, just a little bit. So let's just do what we need to do and make it happen.
How about for you, Sully, seeing the schedule? I know as players, there's always sometimes those games where you're like, I'm going to mark this one. But in football, there's always that adage of you got to take it 1 week at a time.
Yes,
is that what you're trying to make sure all the young guys know?
Yes, sir. Everybody has I feel like we have one of the hardest schedules in the state, and like a lot of people like look over weeks. Like let's say if we have like a lesser opponent, or not lesser opponent, but like an easier game or something. But we have to take it 1 week at a time, because we can't just look ahead. And we know each week we have to maintain the goal, get better, and that'll help us.
And being as successful as you guys have been, you get everybody's best game, right? I mean, is that part of what you're having to remind these younger, because I think sometimes those young ones come in, they think, well, we're Houston, we win, right? And they maybe don't understand what's been put into that.
Right, and that's something you have to constantly, drive into these guys is, this team is a different team. This team is going to have its own journey. You can't compare yourself to last year's team or the year before that. This team is going to have its own identity, and they can do all the things that they want to do, but let's make our own little spot in history.
Absolutely. And Sally, for you guys as seniors, how important is it to help lead those young ones? Because you got a new group who comes in who maybe didn't get minutes, didn't get reps, and hadn't gotten as many reps, and now they're going to have to contribute. Yes,
sir. It's just, I'd say you just have to keep them on the right track during practice. Lead by example, like going through the drills, making sure that we got to keep our egos, and like I would say, like just stay humble, because we know that teams are going to be coming at us, talking a lot, doing things to get us off of our goal, and
100%.
And we just know like what we need to do in order to
get where you need to be,
yes,
which is always the goal, right, Coach?
Yes,
I mean, as you start the season, you say, here's our goal, here's how we get there. Before we let you guys out here, and we appreciate your time, taking the time today, what's the message for fans of the Houston Mustangs? They're so accustomed to what you guys are doing. What's the message out there for those fans?
Hey, get ready to see a whole lot of new faces, and I'm so excited to see what these young kids can do, and some of the older kids that are getting a shot too now. And get ready for some fun.
What about you? I know you guys have a great student section.
Yes, sir.
I got to see them firsthand. So you guys have a great student section, and they're always amped and ready to go. What's your message to those fans who are, coming out to support every week?
Yes, sir. Just be there early, be there loud.
That's a simple message, but it's very, very effective. Be there early and be there loud. Important to note, your first game is not on Friday night, right?
Correct. Saturday night at Germantown.
Saturday night at Germantown. So if you're looking for high school football all weekend long, you're going to have a slate of games Friday you can go watch. But then, guess what? You can make you some popcorn, go watch a game on Saturday as well. And that's going to be a great game, a game that I don't think anybody's going to want to miss. Coach, Selly, appreciate your time making your way out here. You got to get out of class. You owe me one. There you go. You're winning based on me. But I appreciate you guys taking the time to be part of what we're doing here on 24th Floor. We will be at several high school games this year. Don't forget, you don't want to miss that first game between Houston and Germantown. Now, we're not done with high school football. When we come back, we're going to keep this train rolling. In fact, one of the favorites to win it all in 2A will be in studio. We're talking about this man right here, Coach Cedric Miller in the house. We're talking MASE football when we come back.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with ABC 24 and 24+. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on 24+. The 24+ TV app, streaming 24/7 local news from the team you trust on your time.
Rain showers through the day today, and we're starting.
Track how the weather will impact your day.
Rain coming in tonight into tomorrow.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news, live from the scene. Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. 24+, complete coverage of your local news, weather, and more.
Here comes our first batch of rain.
Some severe thunderstorms and even several tornado warnings.
I think the bigger issue is going to be the wind gusts. So you start getting some branches knocked around. You could definitely see some power outages today. The storms could pack a punch.
It's not just the thunderstorms, it's the fact that this low pressure is so strong.
How big that storm system was.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on 24+. Download on your TV and watch for free. When news breaks, watch 24+. See the story as it's happening. Be on the scene, faster than ever before. Live updates from the team you trust. Stream breaking news on 24+. Download free on your TV now.
All right, welcome back to the 24th floor. It's time to talk some more high school football. We're not done yet. It's the most wonderful time of the year. I'm going to bring in some more help. But before we go ahead and bring in our next guest, let's take a look back at what his program was able to do during last season's historic run. They called last season the Farewell Tour, as it was their final season in Class 1A. And, well, I would say it didn't go too bad. Memphis Academy of Science and Engineering, or MASE, posted a 14-1 record with 9 shutout victories, averaging 41 points a game. That's a lot of points. The only loss coming at the beginning of the season. So you know what that means? That means they ran out 14 straight wins to capture the 1A state championship. So now they have a new journey. Up a class. They're going to 2A now. I don't know if I even need to say his name, but we're going to go ahead and say it anyway, just in case some of you have been living under a rock. Head coach Cedric Miller in the building. Coach, thanks so much for joining us.
Man, I appreciate you having me on.
You know, we had to get you in here. Let's talk MASE football. Can we talk MASE football?
Oh, yeah.
Can we talk a little bit about what last year meant for the program and for you as a coach?
I think last year meant a whole lot to the community and the MASE whole program. And for me, it was an accomplishment that's been a long time coming. I think our kids and our parents and our administrators, we really basked in the glory of representing Midtown. So just being able to represent Midtown is one of the things we need to do.
So as opposed to last season where you run off 14 straight, that doesn't happen every year, right?
No, it doesn't happen every year. No, sir, not at all.
That doesn't happen every year. So what's the message for the young players this year? You know, maybe have that expectation of this is just what we do, right?
Well, I think they understand we have a bunch of blue-collar workers. Majority of the guys that played a lot last year are coming back. 4 of the 5 starters on the offensive line are back. Then you bring Cadence Nelson, Keem Hunt, Leandrew Branch. Those guys have been studs for us since they've been in the 9th grade, so they understand the goal at hand and task at hand. So those guys come in with the hard hat mentality of just working hard, and that's just how we got there. And we just gonna continue that trail and just make sure that the young guys fall right in line with what we always been doing. It's just a standard.
The standard is a great way to say that, right? Like here's who we are, here's what we do, here's the way we do what we do.
Yes, sir.
But now you've got to do what you do in a different class.
Correct.
And how prepared are you for that challenge that comes with no longer being in 1A, now you've bumped up to 2A, and you've got to, not just you, but you got to get the kids ready for that change.
I think the kids understand the challenge at hand. We've scrimmaged and played some of the teams that are now in 2A. 3-4 years ago, before I got to MASE, I was at MASE, so we've played a lot of those teams in 2A, the Fairleys, the MBAs, the Mitchells, Bluff City. So we played a lot of those teams. I'm real familiar with those guys. So just the kids have to understand where we're going. We're going to be everybody's Super Bowl, which is fine with us. We're up for the challenge, and we're just going to do what we do. I mean, we like the challenge that's ahead of us. And like I said earlier, this is what we call the Welcome Back Tour.
Yeah. So you mentioned something that, you know, I was talking to Coach Thomas earlier about it. That's that you're going to get everybody's best game. There's never going to be a time when you guys line up and the other team isn't mentally prepared for that challenge. How do you keep your kids focused with that situation?
I think it's just about game planning. The kids understand that we got to be humble. We understand we're going to take everybody's shots. It might not always go our way. You know, we just have to learn to fight through adversity. And I think those guys learned a big lesson about that last year in the 4th round when we were down 22 points with less than 6 minutes to go in the game, and we rally and come back and beat a great McKenzie team. So I think a lot of those guys understand what it is and what it's going to take to come out on top in 2A. And, I'm just going to ride the backs of those young men that we've been playing with for the last 3-4 years, man. And those guys understand the job at hand, and I'm just so proud to even be a part of what's going on over there at MASE.
Now, obviously, you've got a team full of accomplished young men, but there's a handful of those kids that are kind of, we'd call them standouts. Who are some of the main players, some of those players that people are going to probably be able to watch for sure on Saturdays in the very near future? Well,
one is Jamarcus Pittman. He's ranked the number 2 D tackle in the country in the 27 class, and ESPN 300. Has offers from Texas, Ole Miss, you name it. He has pretty much an offer from. He's committed to Ole Miss right now. Then you have Cadence Nelson, a two-way Swiss Army knife, can do it all. Plays defense, offense, special teams. And then we have Keem Hunt, linebacker, was an all-state linebacker last year. Had 161 tackles as a sophomore. So then we have another Swiss Army knife we like to use is Leandrew Branch, number 5. He can do it all. He plays cat safety for us, running back. I mean, he does a little bit of everything. So we have a good group of young men that are coming back that play significant roles in last year's state championship. And I don't expect anything to change because those guys are leaders and those guys have been in the trenches. Them guys have been in the fight when we really needed them guys to come through.
How important is it for your young group to have that much established talent on that roster already? And those guys are working, you know what I mean? So you got those younger ones watching those established older guys putting in the work.
I think they've already fell into the mode of the hard work is going to pay off because we got 24 freshmen that have walked in the door at a 2A school. So
that's a lot.
Yes, and some of those guys are going to play. About 3 or 4 of them are probably going to start and going to play because they came in with the mentality of working hard. And some of them just have some very good talent, and we plug and replace some of the guys that we lost last year. So those guys that fell right in line with the weight training, the running, no complaining. These guys just understand what it is, and I told them the standard is the standard. We're not going to change the standard about who we are. We just hard-working, blue-collar workers, man. That's just all we put our hard hat on every day and just go to work, and we let the results come out how they may.
You said no complaining. I don't know if I ever. that's a rarity anymore. Let's talk a little bit though about your schedule. Starting on the road.
Yes.
That's a tough one, don't you think? I know you guys had some trouble getting your schedule situated.
Well, I think this in order to be the best, you got to play the best, and iron sharpens iron. So we have a great opponent in week 1. We'll travel the road and go up to Martin Westview. Where they have the top quarterback in the 2028 class, number 1 in the country, Graham Simpson, to go along with the running back, Asa Barnes, who has an offer from Ohio State, Miami, other guys. Then they have another kid named Jordan, number 1. They have about 4 or 5 guys that have major D1 offers. And, I think that Coach McConnell and I had a great conversation this past spring about trying to schedule games. He had a hard time scheduling games, and so did I. So I called him and said, Coach, do you mind we play this game? We can play it home and home. So I decided we go up there to him this year, and then he'll return the favor, come back to us next year, Then we have 2 games in Mississippi, kind of like Houston does. So, I mean, we have to sometimes go outside the box to try to fill our schedule, which is nothing new, but, I think our guys are up to the challenge.
Now, that home and home, man, that sounds great. That much young talent going to be coming back here next year to play at home. What a great situation that ends up being. Tough game, obviously.
Yes.
But a great challenge for your squad and for his squad to start the season off. What are some of the other games that, obviously every game's important. Obviously, you're not going to overlook any opponent, but on that 2A schedule, what are some of the games that kind of, you've looked at and said, okay, we got to make sure we're at a certain point by the time we get here?
I think we respect everybody we play, but we don't fear anybody. So I've already pretty much circled the last 2 weeks of the season, and I think TSAA did that on purpose, which is fine with me. Play NBA the week before we play Fairleigh, which is the last game of the season. I think those 2 games are going to determine who comes out and be district region champ. So, I mean, it is what it is. We're not going to overlook anybody. We're going to take it week by week, one game at a time. The next opponent is the best opponent. So, I mean, that's how we're going to look at it. But these guys got to understand that we're going to get everybody's best shot.
Yep.
But those last 2 weeks are going to determine playoff seeding, whether you're on the road or whether you're at home, or, you know, whether you're sitting in the Cadbury seat waiting to see who you got to play. So, NBA and fair to, you know, have been the top two dogs inside of Memphis the last 3 years. So, you know, we're coming back into it. We understand the assignment, and we're ready to get off in there and get it.
Just a different kind of challenge, right?
Yes, sir.
Challenge is set for the end of the season. Coach, thank you so much for taking the time. I
Thank
appreciate you.
No problem.
Really appreciate it. We'll be out watching games, watching those talented kids, and, of course, keeping up with your scores and progress throughout the season.
Thank you.
Coach, join us again, Cedric Miller. If you haven't been out to watch this team play, you definitely need to go out and watch that team play.
Correct.
All right. Let's take a quick break real quick. Ever thought about laying a bet down on your favorite team? Maybe you hear people talking about parlays and you have no idea what that means? Well, when we come back, a new segment to answer all your betting questions before the big games. We'll be right back.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with ABC 24 and 24 Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on 24 Plus. The 24 Plus TV app, streaming 24/7 local news from the team you trust on your time.
Rain showers through the day today, and we're starting.
Track how the weather will impact your day.
Rain coming in tonight into tomorrow.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news, live from the scene. Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. 24 Plus, complete coverage of your local news, weather, and more.
Here comes our first batch of rain.
Some severe thunderstorms and even several tornado warnings.
I think the bigger issue is going to be the wind gusts. So you start getting some branches knocked around. You could definitely see some power outages today. Those storms could pack a punch.
It's not just the thunderstorms, it's the fact that this low pressure is so strong.
It's how big that storm system was.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on 24 Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. When news breaks, watch 24 Plus. See the story as it's happening. Be on the scene, faster than ever before. Live updates from the team you trust. Stream breaking news on 24 Plus. Download free on your TV now.
All right, welcome back to the 24th floor. Something that's grown in popularity. We're talking about sports betting. Now, I wish I could tell you who and when to bet, but that's not really my thing. For that information, we're bringing in ABC 24's Rich Denson. Now, Rich has been behind the scenes making this thing work, but now he's ready to get y'all caught up on the what, when, how, who of all that sports betting. Rich, thanks for joining us for this new segment.
Well, you know, Coach Cedric Miller did talk about the Welcome Back tour, and that's kind of been the thing for me because it's been a minute since I've been on there. But welcome, everybody, to the premiere of 901 Bets. This is where we break down the world of sports betting in a way that's easy to follow, and we always try to be Memphis-centered when we can. Now, before we start, I want to be clear. This segment is for entertainment and education only. Today, we're here to explain the terms and help you understand the language of sports betting, make suggestions on what maybe to bet on, but ultimately, the decision rests with you. We are not responsible for your wins, your losses, how much you bet, if you don't bet, and if you or someone you know has a gambling problem, help is available. Jared, bring that lower up for me. 800-889-9789. That's the number. That is the Tennessee Red Line. It's a 24-hour hotline that can make referrals for people and families seeking problem gambling and gambling addiction services. So, anyways, let's start with the basics. Think of this as sports betting for dummies. First up, the point spread. That's the number odds makers use to even out a matchup. So, for example, if the Grizzlies are -5, that means they have to win by more than 5 points for you to cover. Now, if they win by exactly 5, that's called a push. And if they win by less or lose altogether, the underdog, well, they cover. Let's move on. Second, the money line. This one's simple. Just pick who wins the game. I mean, that's easy. That's kind of like how we used to bet with our family. Like, okay, I'm going to bet on the Grizzlies. Oh, I'm going to bet on the Timberwolves. But the odds decide the payout here in the world of sports betting. So if you see the Memphis Tigers at like +200, I'll kind of make it easy for you. If you bet $100, you win $200. Now, if they're minus 200, you need to bet $200 just to win $100. So I hope you're following me there. The plus sign that you oftentimes see on these things, that means the underdog. The minus sign means they're the favorite. And finally, let's move on to the over-under, also called the total. Oddsmaker set a number for combined points on this. Let's say, for example, the Memphis Grizzlies game, the over-under is 215. Now, if both teams score more than that, it's the over. Less than that, the under. Now, in this situation, it doesn't matter who wins. It's all about that final score. That's what you're looking at when you're looking at the totals. So, all right, let's hit a few more quick terms you'll hear all the time. Let's start with favorite and underdog. Simple. The favorite is expected to win. The underdog isn't. That's kind of self-explanatory. Now, parlay. Now, you might hear all this all the time about parlays. This is when you stack multiple bets together, usually 2, 3, 4. The more you do, you know what I'm saying, the better your odds are. And when you win them all, you got to hit big. But even if one loses, you lose the whole ticket. So, for example, if I bet on 4 things, I need all 4 things to hit. Anything on that ticket misses, I lose the parlay. I know it's tempting, but it is very risky. And then push, we mentioned it earlier, and that's when the spread lands exactly on the number. Nobody wins, nobody loses. And something you'll hear often on broadcasts, especially on media shows, you'll hear ATS, which stands for against the spread. That's a team's record not just in wins and losses, but in covering the spreads. Sometimes a team is way better at covering than they actually are at winning. You oftentimes see that with losing franchises. Well, a couple of quick tips for anybody new to this. Start small. Betting isn't about going big or chasing losses. Me personally, I generally never bet more than $25 a week. So bets I could make could be $1 here, $1 there, sometimes $5 here, $5 there, $10 here, $10 there. You get what I'm saying. But don't just bet with your heart. And Memphis fans, I know it's easy to ride with your team, but betting smart means looking at the numbers, not just your favorites. I even try to stray away from betting on my teams because honestly, if they let me down, I'll probably like them less. And most importantly, remember, it's entertainment, not income. Betting should make the game more fun, not stressful. I have to tell that to myself all the time. And something that a friend of mine told me, when that money is gone, it's gone. Win or lose, just charge it to the game. I know we say that in a lot of aspects of life, but seriously, just charge it to the game, win or lose. So back to today, we covered spreads, money lines, totals, and a few of the most common betting terms, Ruben, but I still do have a pick of the day I'd like to give. And because there's nothing Memphis really going on, because, you know, Grizzlies still in the offseason, Tigers were a couple of weeks away from their first game.
You had to go out of town to get your pick?
Yeah, exactly. I had to decided to dip into the MLB. Let's dip to the, you know, the ball. You know what I'm saying? So I'm taking the money line for game 1 of today's doubleheader matchup between the Chicago Cubs and the Milwaukee Brewers. Yes, the Brewers recently won 14 games in a row. Yeah, you know, the Cincinnati Reds ended that streak yesterday, but I think this is where we start seeing the Brewers come down a bit, especially when we're talking about a division rival in the Chicago Cubs, a team that sputtered of late, losing that first-place spot in the division. They lost 4 or 5 before recently getting it back together, taking 2 straight and the series against the Pittsburgh Pirates. The Cubs look to have gotten their mojo back a bit on offense, and this is a big 5-game series. The Cubs trail the Brewers by 8 games. If they want that division back, they got to get most of these games. So far, the teams are split, each taking 1 apiece, but the games are always close. And I give it to the Cubs because they're playing at home at Wrigley Field, have something to prove. And like I said, they got a sour taste in their mouth from that recent collapse. And then the Cubs are actually favored in this at -118. So this is what I want you to do. Take it based on what we have learned today. A $10 bet wins a little over $8. That's almost doubling your money. First pitch for that game, that's coming soon with it being at 1:20 p.m. Now I have one more bet, and I add this, and I like to call it a futures bet, which is self-explanatory. I'm betting on something down the road. I like the Atlanta Dream to win the WNBA championship. Right now, they have plus 1,000 odds, so that means $10 wins $100. But here's why I really, really like the Dream. They've come on strong as of late, winning 8 of their last 10 games, and currently sit in second place in the standings for the whole WNBA. Those wins have come over some of the best in the league, like the Phoenix Mercury twice, the Minnesota Lynx in Minnesota, and that's the same team that made the WNBA Finals last season. The Dream have 2 really good guards in Ryan Howard and Alicia Gray. Both were All-Stars this season, and they lead the team in scoring. And in the front court, the additions of Brianna Jones and Brittany Griner has been huge. As a team, the Dream are holding teams to just under 78 points per game. That's 3rd best in the league. They remind me a lot of the Indiana Pacers in the way they play. And, well, you see how that turned out for the Pacers. They went to the NBA Finals. They didn't win it, but I hope the Dream are able to do something the Pacers weren't able to do, and that's hoist that trophy. So, yeah, I like the Dream right now. Hoisting that trophy at the end of the season, I know the safe bet is Minnesota, especially with the redemption angle that they're trying to play with, but I'm rocking with the Dream. Well, Ruben, like I said, that is our 901 bets, a new part of the 24th floor. Today we covered spreads, money lines, totals, a few of the most common betting terms. I gave you some picks. But on Thursday, we'll dive a little deeper, look at how to read odds and the difference between what the public is betting versus what the sharps are doing. Ruben, I've done a lot of talking. You know, I have to take a little bit of a breather. One more time, we're going to pop up that number because, you know, we got to bet responsibly.
But I will say, you said don't bet with your heart, but you're all about the ATL, aren't you?
Man, why you got to out me like that, man? You know what I'm saying?
How you going to say don't bet with your heart and then bet the futures for Atlanta to win?
I got to, and hopefully I'm not hitting this gambling hotline. Once again, 800-889-9789. Yeah, Ruben, I need to take a breather. Hopefully I'm not hitting that gambling hotline, though.
Well, we'll be back with much more. I want to say I learned something, but some of that stuff is you got to really pay attention to, right?
Well, that's why I had the details out for you. I spelled it all out for you. Hopefully it was easy to follow.
I took some notes back there. We'll be back with the biggest things we saw right after this.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with ABC 24 and 24 Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on 24 Plus. The 24 Plus TV app. Streaming 24/7 local news from the team you trust on your time.
Rain showers through the day today, and we're starting.
Track how the weather will impact your day.
Rain coming in tonight into tomorrow.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news, live from the scene. Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. 24 Plus, complete coverage of your local news, weather, and more.
Here comes our first batch of rain.
Some severe thunderstorms and even several tornado warnings.
I think the bigger issue is going to be the wind gusts. So you start getting some branches knocked around. You could definitely see some power outages today. Those storms could pack a punch.
It's not just the thunderstorms, it's the fact that this low pressure is so strong.
That's how big that storm system was.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on 24 Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. When news breaks, watch 24 Plus. See the story as it's happening. Be on the scene, faster than ever before. Live updates from the team you trust. Stream breaking news on 24 Plus. Download free on your TV now.
Carter, all right, near side, pump fake by Stick, and that one is picked, and it could be a pick six. It is.
There it is. The best thing I saw, Titan safety Kendall Brooks with the pick six. Brooks taking this Easton stick past 53 yards to the house for the score. This actually set the tone for the Titans, who went on to win 23-20 over the Atlanta Falcons. Again, somebody here is near and dear to ATL. If you're curious, Cam Ward, by the way, went 2 for 7 for only 42 yards. So obviously not the best showing for Cam, but if you like your team playing some defense, Titans played some defense.
Why you gotta out me like that, man? I mean, I guess, you know, we just got the cat out of the bag. I am an Atlanta native, so I am a Falcons fan. I am a Hawks fan. I am a Atlanta Dream fan. I'm an Atlanta United fan. I rock with the Braves.
Lives a rough life, is what he's telling you.
Yeah, man. I always tell folks, a woman cannot hurt me like Atlanta sports hurt me.
You might as well be a Dallas Cowboys fan, bro.
Nah, no, I ain't gonna do that. See, at least my team, we've seen the Super Bowl. Now, granted, it was the worst Super Bowl loss ever, but, you know, I ain't really worried about what the Titans doing because I feel confident in what my team will do, like when we get to the season with the Falcons. I really like the quarterback with Michael Penix. Really getting in there. I like what, you know, Avery was talking about last week with the training camp when the Falcons were practicing with the Titans. So good on the Titans. They can take those preseason wins, Ruben, but I'm more focused on the regular season wins, and we're going to run it up.
Well.
Do you want to tell the people who your team is?
You know, I used to be a huge Houston Oilers fan when I was growing up because I grew up in Tejas, Texas. And so as a Houston Oilers fan, in theory, I should either be a Houston Texans or a Tennessee Titans fan because the Titans are technically the Oilers. Houston's came back. The Texans came in later. So technically, I would be a Houston Oilers fan. Now, for a long time, I was a Philadelphia Eagles fan because I was a big Donovan McNabb fan.
Man.
Huge Donovan McNabb fan.
I did like
I was
McNabb.
a huge Randall Cunningham fan, too, as well.
I did like Randall Cunningham. Cunningham was a little bit before my time, but I used to like watching Tape of the Greats. So, I mean, I like Randall Cunningham. I like McNabb. One of my best friends is an Eagles fan, and like every Sunday, he's like always calling me. He's like, "Did you watch them Eagles? You know what I'm saying? Did you see that boy Jalen Hurts throwing the thing?" I mean, shout out to them. They knocked off the mighty Kansas City Chiefs. Good for them. You know, good for Saquon. Good for all of them. I didn't like Saquon, like, not wanting to get the rushing record. To me, if Coach would ask me, do you want to break the record? You damn right I want to break the record against the Giants. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah, I don't know. I had no problem with him not wanting to break the record. I think that's a classy move, personally. But I've never broken a record like that either, so I've never been in that situation.
Yeah, I mean, you know. Anyway, let's take a look at my best thing I thought.
Yeah, let's see what it is.
To 100 pounds. That's better, and this one is laced to center. Diving and hanging on and making an unbelievable play.
Take a look at this catch. You can't do it any more justice than what the commentator said. A spectacular diving catch. This was the elimination game of the Little League World Series. This was the bottom of the first, by the way, Ruben.
That's early.
So, I know, look at him. He's almost like, he almost hurt his back there.
That's called a scorpion. When you hit your face like that, your legs come up.
I'm a big wrestling guy, so like that's kind of like the Boston Crab, which was a submission move. Maybe for people who would know more, like if you know the wrestler Chris Jericho, the move he did, the Walls of Jericho, that's what that kid's back looked like. But diving, making the catch, this is what we all love about.
Yeah, not the cheating scandal that was caught up in the little
with the Illinois team. Yeah, I mean, you know, I was literally just talking about that
Let's celebrate
last week.
the catches, not
exactly,
the cheating.
you know what I'm saying? And so, I mean, I love the Little League World Series. I know during this time it's kind of slow in the sports world. All we really have is baseball, and with so many MLB games, we can kind of get like tuned out because there's 162. Like these past couple of weeks, I mean, as you know, I just keep my TV on ESPN. Yeah. So I like watching Little League World Series.
Yeah, it's especially fun whenever there's somebody from your state in it, because then you can, whether you know the kids or not, you can root for your state. It's a little bit like the Olympics like that. But yeah, I like Little League World Series. This time of the year, though, man, I'm knee-deep in football already. Preseason football, summer football, like teams are getting ready to roll out. That's my thing during this time of year. I'm a football fanatic. So shout out to that young man who did the scorpion to make the catch. It couldn't have been me, I can tell you that much right now. I might have let that one drop. All right, that'll do it for today's episode of the 24th Floor. Shout out to everybody who made today's show possible. Jared Robinson in the bag, Richard Ditson right here for their work putting the show together. Houston High School's James Thomas and Sally Davis, as well as Mace's Cedric Miller joining us today. Everybody have a great day. We will see you on the other side.
Baby, see you later.
Continue with us and watch free now on the 24 Plus app everywhere you stream.